Hello, and welcome along to today's lunchtime stream. So, as per normal, since this is at lunchtime and I've really only got an hour, I'm just going to jump straight in. So, hello anyone on the chat room. I see Maurice is in already. So, the idea for today's stream is to continue doing some hacking on Chocolatey GUI. So on Monday night stream, we did a little bit of hacking on modification to Chocolatey GUI to include a new feature which allowed us to do something. What was the something? I completely forgot what the something was. It's completely eluded me. I completely forgot what we added. That is so bad. I'm going to have to go and look it up now. It was. Oh, that's what it was. Thank you, Maurice. What we added was the ability to enable and disable some additional new key bindings that had been put into the code. So there was a pull request that allowed you to hit Control 1, Control 2, Control 3, Control 4 to navigate through the sources that are configured in Chocolatey GUI. So that was a pull request that came in from a community member. So we reviewed and we pulled that in. Now, what I was going to look at was an issue that Maurice has literally just raised about context menus not showing correctly in Chocolatey GUI. And that's what I was going to look at. However, Jan has already fixed it. So, literally 45 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago, Maurice raised an issue where 41 minutes ago, Maurice raised an issue where the context menu wasn't displaying correctly. And I had a quick look at it and I identified that it was only not appearing in one specific use case. And then Jan's come in and fixed it. So it's done. So there's no work to do there. So what I'm going to do instead is look at something else that I've just added. So I added a new issue, which was the ability to kind of show and hide this download count. So Chocolatey GUI, when it's in list mode, it lists out the download count, and it shows that in the list view on the right hand side here. You'll see how many times that package has been downloaded. Now, if you're using Chocolatey GUI with an internal source or a source that doesn't provide those metrics, then what you see is this. You see 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So that number's really of no real benefit, and actually you might not actually want to show this download count at all. So what I thought about doing was adding another feature into Chocolatey GUI, which allowed toggling on and off of that download count. Now, it could be that you may want to switch it on and off on a per source basis, but that's a job for a different day. For this version, I'm going to just say turn it on or off. Okay, so that's kind of what we're going to be looking at. And the comment that Maurice just made on in the chat there about it not being enabled by default, I sort of expected that, Maurice, if I'm honest. Now, the reason that I expect that is because the way that Chocolatey GUI works is that it stores all of that information in a light DB file. So there's literally a little database file that Chocolatey GUI creates and puts onto the file system. Now, there is a mechanism to, when you instantiate that database, to specify the default values for configurations. When you upgrade from 0.16 to 0.17, that database is already there, and I don't want to override settings. So there's another issue that's not earmarked for this release, but it's for the next release, to allow more granular control over the default values for Chocolatey GUI. So it was something that I was aware of. It was working for me because every time I was running out of Visual Studio, it was creating a new version of that database. So that's why it was defaulting for me in the stream. But that's why it doesn't default to you. And I don't disagree it's a source-based setting, but I still feel that there is an overall feature for enabling and disabling at all. So although people may want to get finer grained on a per sword basis, there is still a higher level requirement for turning them all off. So I think I am not wasting effort by putting that feature in. Okay, and yeah, thank you for confirming that it's working. So Jan, I don't know, I haven't looked to see what he did. The reason that it happened is that Jan recently updated Chocolatey GUI to use the next version of Matte Apps Metro, and that meant changing some of the templates. So as a result of doing that work, the context menu must have slipped out. Okay, so that's what we're doing. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to look for something. I'm going to look for the changes that we made. Oh, it's been a while. What do we want? We want, let's look for this. And we will see it's in the app configuration. So I'm going to add a new feature, similar to what we did on Monday, which is to say public bool show package download count, and that'll be a boolean that we've got to get and set on, and then I'm going to add in a localizable description so that we can provide some contextual information about what it is we're doing. So that's going to be, as per the naming convention, we're going to add a new one which is called settings view, what do we call it, show package download count, and then this is going to be a feature. So by adding those two attributes, it kind of makes but it does a few things. So by adding it as a feature, it becomes available to the Chocolatey GUI CLI, which we come back to that in a sec, buddies. By marking it as a feature attribute, it makes it available to the Chocolatey GUI CLI, so we can control toggling on and off of that from the CLI version. And by marking it with a localized description, it means that we can translate the text into different languages. So the fact that it's toggling, not really. To me, toggle package download count is the action that you're doing. So you're toggling it from on or off. But in terms of a feature, it is either on or off. So show package download count on means it's on. Show package download count off is you're not going to see it. By calling it toggle, what state is it currently in? What does true and false mean in that case? So toggle is the action, but show is what we're actually doing. Oh, you're talking about that. Oh, no, you're absolutely right. Sorry. So yeah, here would be more. I see what you're saying. Thank you, Maurice. Keeping me on my toes. Thank you. So toggle package download count. Yes, it would. So let's grab this guy. Copy. And then let's go into the resources.resx file and add description at the end. You're right, but we didn't do that last week. Or we didn't do that on Monday. How's that going to impact on anyone that's done a translation? Yeah, I think you're right. I'm going to force this in. Well, let's do that as a separate commit. We'll come back and do that. I agree that it should be description here. Okay, so let's grab this guy. So we'll need to go back and fix that on the other one that we added last week. Or I keep saying last week. We'll need to go back and add that on the one that we added on Monday. So let's go in here and say that. And we're going to say allows control over whether package download count is displayed on remote source views. Okay. And we have been putting full stops at the end of them, or have we? There's a... Did I miss something out? Oh. Did I miss something out last week on Monday? Which is the... Where's this title coming in? Where did we use the title? What's that happen? Do we use the title? I'm not sure if we're using the title, are we? I don't think we're using the titles. Interesting. I'll have to come back to that as well. For now, we'll just use the description. I was wondering that as well, Maurice, but it would still show up. It's all in the same solution, so if it is being used, it would be used. It would show up, is what I'm getting at. So Chocolatey GUI CLI is here, and then the feature command that's kind of would be making use of those would be in there. But let's just have a quick sanity check on open folder. If we go into the Chocolatey GUI CLI, into its bin folder, and then have a look at this guy. Copy. CD into there. And then Chocolatey GUI CLI. And then let's have a look at feature list. No, it's just showing the name of the feature, and it's showing. I don't think we're using the title at all anymore. I think maybe we were, but then we've just that's what it was. Yeah, I think we were. Can you open up? You don't have it installed anymore, do you? I think if we were to go back to the settings screen in Chocolatey GUI 0.16.0, we would see the display of the title. But now we're showing, if you have 0.16 open, if you could, I think if you were to look at the settings screen, you would see use tile view for remote sources. Whereas now we are using the same control that is being used for displaying the Chocolatey features, which means that it's no longer using the title. I think it's showing just the name of the feature instead. Anyway, so we've now got an app configuration that is for show package download count. And if I do a search here for, I think it's just called download count, then there is, let's see what is being used. Hello, Hayden7766. Thank you for coming along to the stream. Oh, and Christoph's here as well. Hello, Christoph. I never saw you pop in. What I was going to look at was, or rather, let's have a quick review of what we're doing. So anyone that's just joined. So what we're doing today is I'm doing a little bit of hacking on the Chocolatey GUI open source project. So it's one of the projects that I work on in my open source time. So Chocolatey GUI is a WPF application. It's a front end for the Chocolatey application. And what I'm currently looking at doing is I can do that, Hayden, just give me a sec. So right now, Chocolatey GUI shows a download count over here. Oh, it's still running updated. Yes. So Maurice on Gitter has just sent me a screenshot of the settings page on Chocolatey GUI 016, and that is doing what I think it was doing. So what we're doing just now, Hayden, is that this download count here, there's a number that appears on Chocolatey GUI. I'm going to make it such that you can turn that on and off. So as a feature, which we can control over here just by these toggle switches, I've added in a new one, which is the show package download count. And when I switch that on, I want to come back over here and it will display this number. And when I come over here and I switch it off, that number will be removed. Okay, so that's what we're looking at doing. And I need to figure out how to do that. So over here, you asked if we could increase this font size. We can definitely do that. So let's put it up to 150. Is that better? Is that better, Hayden? So in the resource view, which is here, let's see what this renders, and we'll work from there. There is so that's, I'm not too concerned that the YAML isn't displaying in the designer, because it doesn't always work. Should we switch to a hide package download count so it would not change the current? Oh, I see what you're getting at. Because it wouldn't be defaulted anymore. Well, I'm looking at the existing code, Maurice, and I'm wondering whether we actually need this at all. Because there is download count available. So what is this doing? Copy. Is download count available? Is a property. And interesting. So what this is attempting to do is it's attempting to hide the download count when the download count has come back as -1. So it must be that there are some sources that return a -1 value for the or it was found at some point that the download count comes back as -1, and in that scenario the download count is hidden. Now the download count that must come back for some of the feeds that I have, where it's showing 0, it's not -1 obviously. So I'm wondering whether we've got more work to do here. So I can abuse this, but I'm going to go back to the point that Maurice made. So he's made a point that if we enable this, if we put this setting in and make it so it's show download count, the default is going to be false, meaning that it's not going to be shown. So if we want to continue, that should be hide. I mean, there's an edge case there. Yes, there's definitely an edge case there, Maurice. Now, what did I make the description? Did I just make it something? Allows control over whether package download count is displayed on remote source views. Right, that's fine. So I agree. Let's make this hide package download count, and that's going to be false by default. And if we come back in here and we look at this, then we can say, is download count available? We can use this one that's already here. So we can return that, or we search for where this one's used, use keyboard bindings, and we just get access to it from the config service. Config service get app configuration. So the question becomes, does this have access to a config service? I don't think it does. Config service. No. So I need the config service. So in this package view model, the constructor for this package view model is, where's the constructor? Lots of privates. The constructor doesn't currently pass in an iConfig service, so we're going to pass in a new one. So iConfig service, config service, and we will create a new one called config service, and we'll set that equal to what we've passed in. So let's go up to here and create a private read-only iConfig service, which is going to be config service. So we're setting that equal to there, and is download count available? Where did that go? Why are you complaining? Did I not name it? Oh, I didn't give it an underscore. And then we're going to say is download count here. So we'll say download count is not equal to that. Or, this is where I try and get Boolean logic right in my head as I'm talking, as I'm doing a stream. So here we can say config service dot get app configuration dot hat download package count. So let's see if we've got this right. So if this is true, then it will be true here and it'll be false. So what we actually want to say is not that. So if it's not hiding, so if see this, let's just run it and we'll see what happens. Boolean logic live on a stream involving nots. Right? Let's see what happens. So currently we expect the default to still show. So if we go to Chocolatey, we would expect that the download count is still shown. And if we go to one of the other feeds, and we can do that with my keyboard shortcut that I can do. So Control 3. Oh, I'll have to enable it. I'll have to enable the feature. Let's do that. So let's use keyboard bindings. So that means I can do Control 3. Haha, there we go. So here are myGet, and myGet is going to show us. Let's test them all because I've actually got 3 different sources here. So one is my local source. Oh, I wonder if it's that one that was returning the -1. I think that might have been it. Yee, look. That -1 is there. So that's why the -1 is there for the local sources. So we have broken something because I don't think that was showing before. So if we go over here and we say hide package download counts and come back to here, oh, it's still there. I wasn't expecting that. Set a wee breakpoint there. And we'll see what it's saying. Is that even getting hit? I wonder. Let's try running it again. Glad I figured out why the -1's there. So if we go back to the local source, it should trigger this property. Right. So download count is -1. So download count is... Let's throw this in so we can watch everything the next time round as well. So add a watch. So that's false. And this guy, right now, let's put this in the watch window as well. So it's false. So we're not hiding, and we're not equal to -1, but it is equal to -1. I'm getting so confused now. Download count is -1. And download count. So this is so twisted. I don't know who wrote this. Refresh what? So is download count available? Download count being available means that it has a number. So it should be not equal to, if it's not equal to -1, it should return true. Not equal to -1 is false at the minute because it's not equal to -1. So download count return false is fine there. And it's returning false there because we're not hiding, which is fine. So that should mean that it's not there. Right. Okay. Fine. It was there before. It was there a second ago. Let's do... Oh. That's because it's... Oh, so that's the problem then, because it's not refreshing. Okay. There's two things going on. The first is that when I toggle that setting, I need to come back into this model and update it. And the second one is I think I've got it around the wrong way. Because we were... Oh no, I have got it right. We were saying hide it, which meant it was unshown. Okay, fine. So what I need now, though, is something that handles the change in the value. So when I change the value in the settings screen, I need to send a message to this view model to say, actually go and fix something, or go and update something. And the way that we've done that, I've just seen that Jan's in the chat room. Thank you very much for making that change, Jan. I appreciate it. I was just saying to Maurice, I haven't checked to see what you actually did to fix it, but I'll need to go back and have a look at it. And yeah, amazing. Thank you very much. Package has update message. So I need to handle another, like I said, refresh the source. Oh, I didn't realize that's what you're referring to, Maurice. So if I go back and have a look at which ones are being updated, there is a I handle sources update message. No. Feature modified message. Interesting. It could be, I don't know when this change came in, Maurice, so it could be that I added that into the 0.17 release to try and not hide it, to try and hide it when it was -1. So it could well be that. Where's this feature change message? So this is in the shell view model, and who are you? And notify a property change. So this is exactly what we want. So we want this guy. Copy into our there will be one in here that is package has update message. So let's put it in and around the same area. So we'll put this in here. And then the one that we want to notify of a property change. Hold on. Who are you? Oh, why does that one not have access to it? Who do you inherit from? You inherit from conductor. Who do you inherit from? Observable. I wonder. Can I just change that? Who do you? Conductor with base item. Conductor base. Yeah, that doesn't really mean anything, Maurice. 2 years, really? Is download 2 years ago. But when was the issue? Yeah, it was 2 years ago, but it's still in the 17 release. So it hasn't shipped yet. So that -1 is still in 0.16. That's expected. Now, I'm curious as to where I can do this now. Can show settings. Property change is a property of property change base. I'm getting myself all sorts of confused. Observable base. Let's put it on here then. Let's go back to here. We need to add that while we're there. So here we can add another one that is an I handle of the, which one did I say it was? I said it was the feature modified message. Feature modified message, which is there. And then we have here, and the one that is download available. So I'm going to set a breakpoint in there. No. Well, oh yeah, we can. And if we go to here, and I've already got a breakpoint in there, but let's make this so it's a little bit easier to break into. Let's do this, and we can set a breakpoint there. Right, let's do this again. Is download count available? Okay, that part still makes sense to me. Right, let's see if all this works. If everyone's still with me. Oh, two seconds. Apologies. The postman came through the door. Alright. So, if we go into this screen now, we should see... Right, so we come in here, and it's still the same as it was before, he says, and we're showing it. Oh no, that's broken. So that's wrong. We'll come back to that one. But if I come back to here, and I put this on now it triggers. Now it should update. Oh, we've got lots of those. Take that off. But we come into here, and we do this. Then we come back to here, and then it's gone. Right, so it is kind of working. Okay, so let's sanity check time. So right now, in the settings screen, we are saying high download count, which is correct. So we're hiding it. It's not there. But if we come back to here, and let's verify on one of the other sources. So if we go back to Chocolatey source, then the download count should also not be being shown, he says. Oh, what? Why is it? Oh, because that -1 is incorrect. That first part of logic is incorrect. Okay, so hold on. Something's broken in here. I'm going to take this out just now, just to make sure. For my own sanity, I'm going to take this out. Right. Run. And we look at the local source. So it's off. This is purely a sanity check time at this point. Off. And for Chocolatey, hold on. Is everyone seeing me on the stream just now? I'm just getting a note that Twitch is saying stream starting only. It seems to be working for me. Not sure what is going on there. Folks in the chat room just now saying everything is working. Yeah, Adam on Twitter's saying that stream's just saying stream starting. Not sure what's going on there. Okay, but anyway, so it's gone, right? So it's off. So now if we come back in here and we say don't hide it anymore, and we come back over here, then we see it again. So the numbers are there, and the -1 is there, which is wrong because we don't want to show the -1, and then the download count to that. So that part is working. Okay, and Adam is saying, I think now that leaving and rejoining has made it fixed. So is Adam, and Adam might be in the chat room now. Okay, so that part's working. So now I just need to figure out why the other one's working. It's because I want it to be an and, don't I? Yeah, I want it to be an and, I think, not an or. So if it is that, so we're saying if the download count is not equal to that and we're allowed to show it, then we show it. So it's not an or. Let's try that again. So if Adam is in the chat, or Adam is watching, hello. Good to have you here. So final sanity check, and I think this feature is done, he says. So we'll check to see what our settings. So currently our setting is off. So, well, so Adam is here. Hello, Adam. You made it. Thank you. I'm currently getting a little bit tied up in knots around some Boolean logic, some simple Boolean logic for showing and hiding things on the screen. So I'm hoping to figure that out soon. So here on the local source, it is -1, so it shouldn't be getting displayed, right? So that's good. And our hide is off. So that one's there. The myget feed should be showing the download count. So it was like 4,000 or something. There, beautiful. And then the Chocolatey source has the higher numbers, so it has the 177 million or whatever it was. Okay, perfect. And if we go back to the settings screen and we turn this on, so we should be hiding the download count now. So now we're saying off, 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 off. Beautiful. So I think that works. So we're not showing the download count there. You're on a ski lift. Really? Currently watching my stream about Chocolatey GUI on a ski lift. What a life you've got, Adam. What a life. Whereabouts in the? Are you able to say whereabouts in the world you are? Can I say as well? I've never tried skiing. It's something I've always thought about doing, or skiing or snowboarding for that matter. I've never done either, but it's something I've thought about doing lots of times. So it's not there. It is there. Nice. Nice. Okay. And then back to settings, one more sanity check. We can turn the hide off again. And in this scenario, they're all there again. My get number's there, but it's still not showing on the local source because the local source is showing -1, which is irrelevant. I think we fixed it. Maurice, you happy with that? I think that makes sense to me. So it is showing for feeds that have valid numbers, but then when we turn it off and we say hide for everyone, then it doesn't show for any of them. So it's off, and it's off. I'm going to say that that's good. You haven't skied either, or snowboarded. I'm glad to know I'm not the only one. I'm glad to know. Right, so this was feature 710. And then, so let's see what we've changed. So if we go back to here and we have a look at Git extensions, fire that open, and we'll see what changes we've made. And then we will indeed will ship that. I'm gonna push it up. Those 4 files changed. So one was the view model. So in the view model, we've added the additional handler and the width pass in the config service. So our dependency injection container, or dependency injection and version of control container will make that available to the view model, because we're going to use that config service to decide the current configuration value. That's then going to be handled here. That will then notify the view model that something's changed and it'll update. We added in a new feature and we added in a new resource string so that it can be translated. So let's go ahead and, did I say 710? 710. Add new feature to control show hide download count. That's going to be too long. Let's just say feature to control feature to show high download count. By default, new setting will be disabled, meaning that download counts will be shown by default if not equal to -1, and when enabled, all sources will not show any download counts. So let's go ahead and commit that. Now, I've got a few minutes left before my lunchtime finishes, so I want to look at something else that I think might have been changed as a result of the recent changes that Jan made. So I've got a vague recollection of something being available when we were in the tile view. So if we change Chocolatey GUI to use the tile view, then I seem to remember that the tile view would, or maybe am I remembering this one? If I come back into settings and I enable the show additional package information setting, then it includes information about whether or not an installed package is a pre-release version. Now, it's not showing up here because I don't have it, but I can force that because I've got Chocolatey. So if I go, let's close this. Let's actually install Chocolatey GUI. So let's do Choco upgrade Chocolatey GUI pre-release from source of https myget.org/f/Chocolatey GUI. So I'm installing onto my local machine the pre-release version of Chocolatey GUI, just so that I've got a package that is a pre-release. And that may or may not work. Let's let it finish. Maurice has just sent me something on Gitter again. Yes, that's what I want. So what Maurice has just sent me a screenshot of is what I'm trying to show you on the screen. So if I go now and run this again, with that enable additional package information setting enabled, it will show me an additional flag that is whether or not that package is a pre-release version. So we're seeing that here. So this pre-release here is being shown there, and that's good. Now, the vague recollection that I have is that it also showed that as a flag on here, but I could be misremembering that. I remember if I double click in here and I look at the details, then it shows me pre-release and installed. So the question I have in the back of my head is, should it also show it in the tile view? So let's close this again, and let's find the text that is pre-release. So that will be in a settings string, so it'll be in our resources.resx. So resources.resx is here, and text is just pre-release. So packages view, yeah. Let's copy that and see where that's used. So that's used in the package view.xaml in, well, that's that one. So that's where it's used there. So it's maybe not that one. Let's have a look here and see if pre-release is used anywhere else. Only feedback that I have. Why is it red? I would make it yellow or orange. We can I don't think I have any strong view on that. So if you wanted to add a bug to that effect, or a feature request to that effect, I would be happy to change that. So it's used in the local source view grid, which makes sense. It's used in the remote source view pre-release. Where's that then? Maybe that's where. Just had a thought. Let me. So let's have a look in here. I think that's maybe where I've. So if we say include pre-release here, Maurice, do you know off the top of your head of a package that whose current version is a pre-release? Oh, there's one there. Auto hotkey. That's a pre-release. So what happens if I go into tile view on auto hotkey? I found one. Let's just use auto hotkey because I was there. See, it's not showing in the tile view. So what I'm wondering is whether it should. Because right now, if we're in the list view, then auto hotkey marks it as a pre-release. I'm wondering whether that information, so let's do a wee auto hotkey, search for that. Right, and then if we go into tile view, then it's not showing there. So I think that should. I think it should. In the same way that when we are in the local view and we've got Chocolatey GUI installed, it should identify that that is also a pre-release. Now the only issue then comes in on this view when you have both, when it's both a pre-release and it's out of date. So you have two things going on. So then it becomes a question of how do you show two things at once. Might have to have an overlapping something or other. Anyway, so that answers the question of the pre-release isn't being shown in the title view, and Maurice is saying he's just created a issue by the look of it. So we come up here, we've done that. So I'm going to say that well, someone else might take it, but I'm going to say that this is an improvement, and we'll get this into the milestone. Thank you for raising that, Maurice. I appreciate it. If we go back to the issues, though, then I can close this one off. I can close this one because we finished it, and I've done the investigation that I want to do, and that investigation was whether the pre-release tag is shown in the title view, which it isn't. So I can go back and answer Jan. I don't think he's in the chat room anymore. I'm going to go and mention it here. Just had a quick look at this on the stream, and I don't think it was ever there. Okay, so that is my machine rebooting. after an hour because I've currently got licensed this VM, and that's what I need to do. So that is my cue to finish off my stream for today because my machine's just gone away. I've got done what I wanted today, which was getting that feature in. So I'm happy with that. I've got some tidy up work. I'm going to take a note of that to reply to Jan. Reply to Jan comment. Remove unnecessary strings for the titles from the resx. And there was another one, which was change name of new feature to include description in the resx. Yeah, that was something we mentioned. Okay, so that's all I have for just now. I will not be here on Monday or Friday of next week because I am away at a conference, so no streams then. But I should be back the following week, and I suspect that the week after will be. I suspect we'll be back doing some cake recipe stuff or some cake contrib stuff. I haven't really got any firm plans yet about what I'll be looking at, but I'm sure I'll come up with something. There's always lots to do. So that's all I have for now. Thank you to everyone who came along and jumped in the stream. Appreciate it. And I will speak to you all in a couple of weeks' time. All right. Talk to you all later. Bye-bye.